knowing what needs to go on a song, as a producer. He can play it. He knows where to put it in the mix. And the greatest thing that happened to us was when he called us. We got a demo in his hands. We were both playing the same festival down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And we got a demo in his hands, and he called and said, "These songs are great. Please come to my studio and we'll make a record." And that's what really set Ten Penny Gypsy in motion, because Anthony can take a great song, and he's just a master of the sonic soundscape, if you will. And I think Fugitive Heart is a great sounding record on top of everything else.
Yeah, I was just thinking of another question about songwriting. What do you usually use when it comes to the music? Do you use a guitar? Do you use piano? And what does Laura use if it's the same thing?
Yes, we both normally start on the acoustic guitar. And like I kind of mentioned before, I'll start with a chord progression. And, my James Taylor, Gordon Lightfoot days, I'll kind of finger pick a melody line in there. And that just kind of starts the process. And then, of course, you take it to somebody like Anthony Crawford, and he just layers it. I mean, and sometimes it comes out like you thought it was going to sound, and sometimes it's something completely different. He took a couple of ballads that we brought to him for Fugitive Heart. Lonesome No More is a great example. That was our last single, and he made the astute decision to speed it up and put a mandolin and flat picked guitar and a driving beat on it. And I mean, I can't argue with that decision. It just turned out to be a great song.
About how many guitars do you own?
How many? I see 6 cases. There's 6 cases over here. Yeah.
All acoustic?
All acoustic. I've got a 1970s Gibson. I've got a 1970s Martin D35. I've got a Taylor. I've got a lower end Alvarez that I like. I keep by my bed as far as, I don't read before I go to bed. I just, crawl in there and pull the guitar with me. And I wish I could remember half the stuff that I play right before I fall asleep.
Any of the guitars or one that you originally owned maybe back in the day?
I actually had a Gibson Hummingbird when I was a kid. My dad used to love to go around to pawn shops, and he literally found a Gibson Hummingbird that was in really good condition that was in a pawn shop. But I was a kid. I was a teenager. So I played it for a while, and then as a very irresponsible, in my opinion, teenager, I made the decision that I wanted a Martin instead, which wasn't a bad decision. It got traded for a Martin, which I still have, but man, Gibson Hummingbird to have right now would have been awfully nice. I didn't know what I was doing.
And here's the big question. Do you have any names for your guitars?
Well, I called one. I don't think any of the current ones are named. So they're kind of like orphans. Okay. They're kind of like orphan children. We haven't named them yet, but I don't love them any less. Yeah. I think I remember I had a guitar in college. I don't remember which one it was, but I called it James. I was just, James Taylor really changed everything I thought about music, because my dad raised me on old Merle Haggard. Okay. And that stuck. But, when I heard the first, guitar introduction to Something the Way She Moves from James Taylor, I dropped the pick, and I haven't used a pick since that time. And it just changed everything I thought about music at the time. And you can still hear some James Taylor influences on the stuff I wrote or I write for Ten Penny Gypsy. Highway 65 on our recent album is kind of reminiscent of an old James Taylor song called Copperline that he did back in the 90s. So it doesn't sound exactly like James Taylor, but he was a huge influence. So anyway, to get back to your question, I did have a guitar named James.
Laura probably doesn't name her guitars either, I'm assuming.
Man, Mark, I wish that Laura was here. You would just get a kick out of her. She is so much fun. She's so much more jovial and interesting than I am. She's got a great spirit about her. She's the one that really reaches out and connects with our fans. She's got that type of personality. if she named an instrument, there is no telling what she would call it. It would be something to have to do with the Mayans, or it would be something of a spiritual type nature, and it would probably be a name that I had never heard before.
Well, Justin, I mean, you're doing a great job here. I think you're giving us some really great information in terms of some of the background of what you guys do. I mean, it's great to be able to hear a little bit about that as well. I mean, talking a little bit about performing, obviously, the past year has been kind of, really dramatic. There hasn't been any live entertainment. Hopefully that does come back at some point, some point soon, because I know a lot of artists like yourself want to get back up on stage. But usually in concert, about how many guitars do you usually have on stage? You have 2 or 3 just in case the room maybe get a little bit hotter during some of the cooler months or all that as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Try to keep a couple up there. And actually, normally that's for like a tuning deal. There may be one guitar I keep, tuned down to D for some songs that I do. We also have a gentleman by the name of Buddy Case that plays with us a lot. And he's, we're so grateful to be 5-time Arkansas CMA nominees. Buddy was nominee this year for Guitarist of the Year for the Arkansas CMAs. We took him down to Gulf Shores to record Fugitive Heart with us. He's just a really, really good guitarist. He comes from the Merle Travis thumb picking style, and he's won some awards for that. And he just keeps one guitar up there with us because that's all Buddy needs. I mean, that's all he needs. So,
considering where you're at, I mean, you're in Arkansas right now, and the Texarkana area. I mean, those 3 states, even Mississippi, you can throw that in too. I mean, obviously, really, really great kind of scene in terms of folk and country music as well. I mean, back when you guys were performing, how was the scene?
Well, I think here in Central Arkansas, I think that Central Arkansas has always been in need of more listening rooms. Okay. Someplace where, and this may be true not just here. I mean, it could be anywhere you talk about. But it seems like our scene is sometimes overrun with country and blues bars and things like that. So we've worked really hard on showcases, songwriter showcases, things like that here. We have one that we do every month called Sounds of Unity that we founded and that we host. And we've just partnered with a big music festival here to kind of grow that as far as our options and our format and the guests that we can get. And so that's always been our goal. I mean, I think when you talk about the music scene here or anywhere, an acoustic artist will always tell you we need more listening rooms.
Yeah, I mean, in LA, I think we have a little. In LA, they have a little bit more, and here in Vegas, we don't have very many, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I think there are a couple of the bigger cities, just not in the smaller towns as much. Hopefully, that does change a little bit. Hopefully, when everything again opens up again, as well. How's everything down in Arkansas in terms of Christmas? Are we seeing some decorations up? How's everything down there?
Well, if I walk into the other room, I'd show you my Christmas tree. But yeah, we both put up a Christmas tree this year. There are decorations in the neighborhoods. It's just really a strange time, isn't it, Mark? I mean, it's just like, there's some things that you think will be altered by all this that aren't. And then there's things that you just can't figure out how you're going to do because of it. And it's just crazy. Even trying to decide your holiday plans and going to see your families and things like that. I don't think anybody knows what the right answer is to any of it.
Yeah, it's just off this year, and it's kind of disappointing because this time of the year is always such the joyous time and everything like that. So, like I said again, hopefully things change for the better coming in once New Year's rolls around and things get back to hopefully semi-normal, as it were. So fingers crossed on that as well. Anyway, I want to mention you guys can check out Fugitive Heart. The album's currently out right now. The new single, Making Headway, is going to be coming out in January as well. Where can people find you guys on social media?
Yeah, please go to our website, which is tenpennygypsy.com. You can get merchandise, you can download our music. Tenpennygypsy.com is the place to go for all of that.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely great, Justin. It's been an honor. We'll have you, hopefully get back, you guys back on sometime next year, and we'll hopefully have Laura on with us. But you did an absolute great job, Justin, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Mark. Thanks a lot for having me, man.
You guys can check us out on Twitter at SWIV, and Somewhere in Vegas on Facebook. Also on Instagram at SWIV Podcast. We got guests all the way up until the new year. You guys can definitely check out our archives. We're on Spreaker.com. Also, you guys can go to iHeartRadio.com and check out the show. And you can also ask Alexa to please play Somewhere in Vegas, and you can be able to listen to that as well. With that in mind, we'll see you guys next time here on Somewhere in Vegas.